Well, predictably, the mainstream media attacking President-elect Donald Trump for taking credit for keeping Ford jobs in America.
Yeah, the car giant confirmed its Lincoln production line is staying in Louisville, Kentucky, instead of moving to Mexico.
Donald Trump tweeted Thursday, quote, "I worked hard with Bill Ford to keep the Lincoln plant in Kentucky. I owed it to the great state of Kentucky for their confidence in me." Here to tell us what really happened is Stuart Varney, host of Varney and Company. I hear Democrats have been tweeting me in recent days saying these jobs were not leaving and that Donald Trump has hyped it.
Wrong. The plant was never leaving. The plant in Kentucky was always going to stay there. What is staying there as well is production of that particular Lincoln SUV. Here's what happened. Before the election, Donald Trump says, "Hey, you build cars in Mexico, you're trying to bring them back here, we will punish you." He wins the election. Ford and the other car makers get kind of worried. Bill Ford calls up Donald Trump and says, "You know, maybe I've got a little olive branch for you here. We'll keep production of the SUV in Kentucky." Trump turns around and tweets and says, "We won." Well, you know.
He's a businessman, Varney.
He is. Well, look, this is classic Trump. The man negotiates. He sets up a hardline position. "I'll punish you if you bring those things back in here." He's waiting for the other side to turn
was like a
around and make an
35%
offer.
tariff, right?
35% tariff. He waits for the other side to say something. They start to negotiate. That the left is classically worried that it might work.
Well, look at these headlines we can
work.
show you. I mean, here's the New York Times. Here's how they put it. They say Donald Trump takes credit for helping to save a Ford plant that wasn't closing. This is the Los Angeles Times headline: Donald Trump already saving jobs, not so fast. And finally, the Washington Post: Trump's fake news presidency.
No, they go nuts.
They're eager to denigrate what just happened because they're worried that it might be a pattern for things in the future. This is Trump's style. Maybe it's going to be successful. They're worried about that.
You talk about a pattern for the future. If you broaden the lens out, there's talk that Apple is now thinking about making iPhones in America instead of China. Do you buy that, first of all?
No.
And is that the Trump impact? Okay, you don't buy it. This is just talk.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I do think that Apple and the other technology companies and IBM and some of the other manufacturers, they are beginning to realize maybe they're in a bind.
They're thinking twice.
What is ignored? Hold on a second. What is ignored is at the end of Ford's statement yesterday, where Ford says, look, if Donald Trump's policies make it easier to manufacture in the United States, well, maybe we'll reconsider. That's what they said.
Well,
that's a big deal.
Isn't that what could happen? There's a calculation inside these executives to say if policies are going to change, as they become more business friendly,
right,
you could see these, and that's what the left's so scared of.
If you have energy deregulation, cheap energy, cheaper electricity, that is a huge incentive to manufacture in the United States because that brings your cost structure down. You look skeptical, Abby.
No, I'm just thinking about how, I'm like trying to figure out how this all, the plant was staying here already, but Donald Trump obviously taking advantage of that. And, and as you said, he knows what he's doing. He's a businessman. And maybe if there's one thing he can do as president, by the way, if he can change the tax code, if he can bring more jobs here, you can say that's a success, right?
If you change the tax code, you deregulate and create cheap energy, you'll bring jobs back to America. That will happen.
Stuart, thanks for breaking this down.
Sure.